If you've ever been thrown off by someone turning on you that you thought you were super tight with, um, you may have experienced love bombing. And I'm not going to get into like whether someone is officially a narcissist or not. I don't know. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a medical professional. Don't use this as like diagnosing someone. But if you're just curious what is love bombing and curious about whether you might have experienced it, it can look different ways. It can show up in the workplace, it can show up in friendships, it can show up in romantic relationships, it can even show up with children in your life. You know, if you're a teacher or a childcare worker, love bombing can come from any age and it can look different ways. In the workplace, it could look like, you know, if you're brand new and right off the bat, before you've really been able to show what you're worth as a worker, is just being told like, wow, you're the best. I don't know what I would do without you. You've got this. You could be running this place. Like, you're my go-to person for this thing. And just a lot of praise, maybe affectionate words like buddy, pal, um, you know, giving you just over the top compliments, speaking well of you to higher ups. And you're like truly shocked because you're like, oh my goodness, I'm like brand new here. Like, they already love me. This is great. And it could be great. It could be normal. There could be nothing wrong with this, but it is something to make you be cautious about and go, that's interesting. Well, we'll see how this goes. In romantic relationships, it could look like maybe going out, being with friends, meeting someone for the first time, and then you feel like, oh my goodness, I feel like they know me. And not only that, they tell you, I feel like we've known each other our whole lives. Like, we laugh at the same things, we enjoy the same things. This must just be like an instant connection and meant to be like soulmate, like soul something, like a soulmate. You know, like if you just met someone and you feel like you both think that you're each other's soulmate, yes, it can happen. So again, I'm not saying that that's a red flag. I'm just saying be cautious. It also could look like in a relationship, someone just giving you like over the top gifts, you know, and maybe these over the top gifts take the place of apologies for unacceptable behavior. Like, that's when it's a for real red flag. But upon first meeting someone is where you just want to be cautious and just pay attention. And so we covered workplace and romantic relationships. I did mention children. It could be, you know, if you're a childcare worker or if you're a teacher, and like the first day of school, you have a student who's just like, you're the best teacher I have ever had. I love you so much. And you're like, wow, cool. Wow. Thank you. That's great. Don't be surprised if that same child could also become very, very angry with you or say things about you that you weren't expecting very easily. I'm not saying, again, this isn't meant to make you suspicious of nice people or people who compliment you, but when it seems early, that's what I'm trying to say. When these praises and like gushing of like, you are the best, you're just the best, you're just so great. When it happens really early on, just be cautious, pay attention. It really might be that you made an instant friend or lifelong partner or a great student that will love you your whole life and everything will be fine. It may be, and it may be that your bosses really are like appreciative of what you do, but early excessive praise can potentially be a red flag. So again, I'm not saying to mistrust compliments. It's great to accept compliments and to be kind to each other and to give and receive kind words. Absolutely. But just pay attention and go slowly. There's no need to rush things, right? So this can actually also show up in online interactions. If you're a content creator, if you notice that there is either a viewer or a fellow content creator that just seems like so into what you're putting out there. It's like, it's awesome to have fans. It's awesome to have support. It's awesome, all of you wonderful viewers out there. Thank you for watching and thank you for your kind words. I'm not trying to like single anybody out, but it can happen. I've seen it happen where people who are early on very exuberant supporters and verbally very very verbal with their praise of you early on. Sometimes those are the people that can also turn on you very quickly. I mean, it could be relationally, it could be a falling out, it could just be them getting offended. I'm not saying that everybody's like this. Again, I don't want you to mistrust people who are kind, because there are some very kind, complimenting people out there. And again, thank you to those of you who are very kind in your comments. So again, I'm not singling anybody out. I'm just saying to pay attention to that and to think, wow, I just like met this person online and they're, wow, so kind. I would just be cautious. It doesn't necessarily mean what it seems like it means, or you really may have just made a super best friend for life that you might end up meeting in person and you might connect. So we don't always know what things mean, but if it's shocking to you, it's just something to pay attention to. And so again, it can happen online as a content creator or people who purchase your services. If you're selling services, this is something that can just show up in the strangest of places. I feel like I was going to mention one more place: romantic relationships. Oh, friendships. That's the one. This can also happen in friendships. Let's say that you are new somewhere, to a new church or volunteer organization. There may be someone that you meet there who just busts up laughing at all your jokes, just like they cannot contain themselves, and you're like, oh, cool, was it that funny? Oh, cool, like they like my jokes, this is great. It may feel like, wow, I just made a new best friend. This is, I know, I've known them for 10 minutes and I love them. Maybe you did just meet a best friend who loves all your jokes. But again, just be cautious, because I have many instances in my life of people who loved my jokes and just cracked up, just loved my jokes, but then turned out to be not necessarily what they seem to be. I'll just put it that way. So just be cautious. Again, don't be automatically suspicious of kind people, but I would say just pay attention and take things slowly. Nothing wrong with going slow. I mean, look at sloths. They're slow and a lot of people love them. So, there's the gem. Put that on a quote, on a t-shirt or something. Look at the sloths. They're slow and people love them. All right. So all that to say, it's okay to go slow when it comes to relationships and feeling connections with people. Have fun, but also just, pay attention.